Hi Mermaid Junkies, how are you? Have you been well? I hope you're having a great holiday. Today is Halloween, but I thought I would put a video up for you and inspire some of you, and hopefully this will. I had such an outpouring of my video for 13 Signs You Found Your Soulmate. And so that has really been, I think, the ultimate video that has caused my YouTube channel to take off, which I'm really, really happy about. So I thought I would give 13 more signs that you found your soulmate. And I thought it was really funny because I've gotten so many emails about that video, but one of them especially was really funny because it was like, I guess I didn't realize how many times I said Jeffrey, my husband, being my soulmate. Anyway, and also my voice is a little bit hoarse, and that's why I haven't done video, because I haven't been able to speak at all. And so today I'm actually getting my voice back, and it's not to where, you know, I'm completely like talking and you can't hear me. So anyway, okay, so 13 signs you've met. Let me go back and tell you about that video. That email. It was like somebody wrote a comment, and like all of the comments have been like super, super sweet. But one of them was really funny because it was like the gal just put Jeffrey, 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 exclamation, like in all caps, and then she was like the puke emoji, and I thought it was so funny. Jeffrey and I laughed so hard about that. I thought, I wonder if that was an ex-girlfriend. Anyway, it was cute. So keep up all the comments. I love them regardless because they give me enjoyment in life. So 13 more signs that you found your soulmate. Okay, so one of the first ones is I've noticed that in comparison to my other relationships that I've had, which I haven't, you guys, I haven't had that many relationships in my life actually, because I married really super young and whatever. But anyway, it's that you don't compare yourself to your soulmate. A lot of times I think in relationships, people will compare themselves to their mate, or like, it's almost like an underlying jealousy, so to speak. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but when you're with your soulmate, they encourage you and they uplift you, and they're like your biggest cheerleader, and you're like a team. Whereas if it's just a companion or a lifetime partner, they might have some jealousy issues, and they're always comparing. Like I remember in one relationship, it was like anytime I would ever want to like express my knowledge that I've gained, like through going through my certifications or my wellness certification or anything like that, it would always be like I was trying to compete with them, and he would get irritated, like, well, you're not this or you're not that or whatever. Almost like it was like we were competing against each other. So number one, you don't compare yourself or compete against your soulmate. That's number one. Number two is they are your mirror inner reflection of yourself. So when you look at them, you see a lot of yourself within them. So when you look at your soulmate, you can really relate to them, because it's almost like you know what they're feeling, you know what they're thinking. When they touch you, it's like you touching yourself. Does that make any sense to any of you soulmates out there that have found your soulmate? I think that resonates with me a lot, because I really do feel like that with my soulmate. Number three is you're very transparent. You're very honest with your soulmate. And a good indication of this is in your relationship now, if you have a relationship that's very controlled, so to speak, maybe like you don't let that other person know everything about you. Like for instance, Jeffrey and I, we have each other's passwords. We have each other's emails. We can get into, like if I pick his phone up, I know how to get into it. He doesn't have a code that's on there that, no hidden secret files or apps or anything to where he's got all this information, or, messaging and things like that. And I know that like some people might even say, well, you know what, if somebody wants to get away with that kind of thing, they will, because I know that from past experiences and past relationships that that, you know, if you're going to cheat or you're going to, you know, be dishonest or whatever, there's ways around it. I mean, there's ways to get around that kind of thing. But with your soulmate, you're very transparent and you want them to be very honest with you, and you are very honest with them as well. And so if you don't feel like you have to like hide your phone from your spouse or your mate, then that's a good indication that you're with your soulmate. Otherwise, that's kind of a little freaky thing that you might want to look at. Number 4 is you aren't jealous of one another's success. Now, this was a really big one for me, is that I always felt like in my past relationships that I was always struggling to like get ahead, and always feeling like I was on the back end, like the coattails of my partner. And with Jeffrey being my soulmate, he encourages me and completely puts me out there and like trusts in me and my abilities more so sometimes than I think I did at one time, you know, especially in the very beginning. I mean, one of the first things that Jeffrey did, and we were just dating, we weren't even married, is that he recommended me for this really huge high profile job for a celebrity. And I was like, didn't even know if I could really do the job. I was like, I had never done that before, let alone it's a celebrity. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of like reservation. There was a little bit of reservation for me because I was like, do I trust myself to do this? And so, but your soulmate trusts in you so much, and you actually come full throttle. It's wonderful. It's a beautiful thing when someone believes in you when you don't believe in yourself. And so they encourage you to, you know, live your dream and to do what you know that they know that you're capable of doing. So I think that's a beautiful thing. Number 5 was being very honest, and I think I talked about that in number 3, was that you're very transparent, that you can tell them little secrets or just lay things out on the line, whereas normally you would be like, feel like, oh my God, I don't want to say that. If I mention this, it's going to start a huge freaking fight, and then it's going to be downhill from there. Have you ever experienced that in other relationships, like if you're not with your soulmate? Because with your soulmate, it might be a problematic situation, but you're actually working at like talking and resolving it so that you can come to a conclusion or a happy place, you know, a happy place within both of you, reaching a certain you see it in a different perspective. It's all about the last relationships that you've been in have all led you up to the relationship that you're in now with your soulmate. And so it's so important that you recognize and be grateful for the relationships that you did have. You know, thank those little boogers for being pills to you or being total wrecking havoc on your life, because you know what, you wouldn't be where you are now had you not had those relationships to learn from the experience. So it's really a really great thing that all the relationships that I've had, all the relationships that Jeffrey's had, has really dictated and helped him to know exactly what he wants in a person and a mate, and as well as myself. So I think that that's a beautiful way to look at contrast and adversity. You know, when you're going through these crappy relationships and you're going through all of this heartache and you know, adversity, that it's all for the making of a beautiful, beautiful relationship that you have in your vortex. So that's a good one. Okay, number 6 is you enjoy silence together. That probably sounds kind of silly, but I know that in other relationships, have you ever been in a relationship to where, like, if you're both in the same room, or you're driving in a vehicle, or you're doing something, or you're just hanging around the house or whatever, and there's silence between you two, it's kind of awkward, like you're like, oh, I need to fill the space because it's awkward and I don't feel comfortable, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't go off and do your own thing. Like, maybe I want to read a novel that I'm reading, and Jeffrey's into a gardening magazine, you know? And, like, we're still in the same room, and there's silence, but it's not awkward. It's almost like a rejuvenating, like we're regenerating each other's spirit, because we're both resonating with that same energy because we're soulmates. And so that's one thing, is that you're never awkward in silence. And I think that's actually a beautiful thing. I think when you can be silly also, when you can be silly and just be yourself, and you don't feel embarrassed when you're being awkward and silly, you know, like a total dork, I think that's really a beautiful thing as well around your soulmate, you know, because if you're around some other person that you're in a relationship with and you feel like, oh, I can't really be myself because I'm kind of like, because me, I'm kind of all my, I mean, if you guys know me, you know I'm sort of a dork anyway, right? And Jeffrey's sort of a dork as well, but we're kind of like, in that same way, we're very serious and, you know, very confident people, but there's also that side of us that's very silly and like childlike. So we mirror reflect that as well. So you mirror reflect the same type of humor that your companion has, that your soulmate has. And so you resonate on that same level of like the things that you think are funny, they think are funny too, because you're basically, it's you looking and reflecting yourself once again. Number 7 is that you work together to inspire each other. Work together to inspire one another. So like, for instance, Jeffrey and I, when we got together, we both love, like, are inspired to go on walks together and getting our bikes out and going on bike rides and going to the gym together. And like, it's just like your pal, you know, like you're a team. And I think that's so cool, because when you're with your soulmate, you love to do the same type of lifestyle things that they do. You kind of eat the same way that they do. You enjoy doing the same like extracurricular things that they do. Like Jeffrey will even do yoga, you know, he's like, you know, I kind of feel awkward a little bit, but I mean, he's willing to do, you know, like the things that I do. And I love doing like you know, weightlifting and stuff like he does, or boxing. Like, you're willing to do all of those different lifestyle challenges. Whereas when you're with someone else that's not your soulmate, you're kind of like, I'll do my thing, you do your thing. And I'm sure that you guys, that if you're in like not a very fluid relationship, it's not a soulmate relationship, you can recognize that. That's another thing that you can recognize, is like you're very together when you're a soulmate couple. But when you're not, and it's just a lifetime partner, and I hope you guys don't think that this is horrible, because it sounds like, oh my God, I haven't found my soulmate, now I have to freaking go and get a divorce, or I'm with the wrong person. But it's like, and that's not what I mean at all. I mean, you know, you can make anything wonderful in your relationship that you want. And everything happens for a reason, you know, so I don't want you to think that I'm like saying, oh, well, you're not as wonderful if you only have a lifetime partner. I hope you guys aren't getting that whole drift from me. So I'm not trying to drive that home. Okay, so number 8 is when you look at each other, it doesn't get awkward. Have you ever been with somebody that like to look in their eyes, like it's almost embarrassing, like you look at them for like maybe a split second or something like that, or maybe you're doing the deed and you look at them in the eyes and then you're just like, look away, because you just can't look at them for a long amount of time because you're insecure, or you're like, I feel awkward, this is weird, I don't like this, you feel uneasy. Okay, with your soulmate, you can stare at them endlessly in the eyes. And that's where your intimacy begins, really. I mean, because isn't that like, when you see your soulmate, I mean, there's so much to do with looking in someone's eyes. I mean, that is where intimacy begins. And so that's one thing that I thought that was beautiful, is that when I met my soulmate, well, Jeffrey, that you can look at them. I mean, you could look at them forever and it wouldn't ever get embarrassing or awkward or anything. It's just, it's a beautiful, beautiful experience. Number 9 is you both are into expansion and growing and learning as humans. You know, you're both into expansion. You want to spiritually elevate yourself, and you're into learning things about your behavior and what we're doing here and our purpose, and you're driven by that because you want to expand and learn from behaviors and all of the things that we're here for. You know, we are here to have fun and to have joy and to be creators. I mean, that's basically what we're here for. And so, but I love that, because when you're with your soulmate, you're there because you are into expansion and you want to grow and develop as a human. Number 10 is you work in similar missions in life. Both Jeffrey and I are very uplifting people. We enjoy inspiring people and uplifting them and helping them to feel good, and encouraging them to learn and grow and develop characteristics and just a beautiful character, just to have a good sense of being a good person and going out of your way to help mankind. And you have a love for people. And so I think that's beautiful, because Jeffrey and I are both very, very aligned when it comes to that. We both are uplifting uplifters. Number 11 is that you can be vulnerable. So number 11 is you can be vulnerable with your soulmate. And so you don't feel like you have to put on airs or like, I have to be strong in this moment because that's just what I have to do. You know, like you have these walls built up. You know how sometimes you have walls built up to where you don't want let people in. You don't want to let people in. But with your soulmate, you can be vulnerable with them, and you feel comfortable doing so. And so I think that's a really cool thing too. Number 12 is you recharge each other. Have you ever been in a relationship where you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna get a 6-pack, drive around the block because I do not want to go home to this woman, you know? Or you take an extra yoga class because you want to stay at the gym longer because you don't want to go home to your husband. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, I do not want to go into that territory unless I have to. And then when I do, I'm gonna freaking go to the room, watch some TV, veg out, and ignore them. That's what you do when you are not in a soulmate relationship. You do not want to be around each other. I mean, they get on your nerves, they wear on you. But when you're with your soulmate, like Jeffrey and I hung out the entire weekend. We did nothing but watch movies on a loop, just slept and relaxed. I mean, we were a little bit sick under the weather, but we do that a lot. You know, just you can relax in silence and enjoy. And it's almost like we rejuvenate each other, like we energize each other with our just being around each other. We just totally generate each other. And number 13, I'm sure there's a freaking crap load of these, but number 13 I thought was you're not just physically attracted to your soulmate. I mean, you are physically attracted to them, don't get me wrong, but it's not just a physical attraction. I look like I'm squinting, like I can't see, but I think it's the glare from the sun coming in through the patio. But anyway, so I hope you can forgive me for that. But no, you're not just physically attracted to them. It's more than a physical attraction. You're attracted to their mind, to everything about them. You know, their mind, their body, their spirit, just everything encapsulates them, and you are just completely motivated by them as individuals, not just their physical appearance. You know, like, oh, you have, you know, cute freckles, Raquel, or Jeffrey, you have nice arms, you know, or whatever. But yeah, it's more than a physical attraction. But don't get me wrong, there is a massive physical attraction. I'm sure you know where I'm going with that one. All right, well, I hope you guys have a great day. Happy Halloween from your Mermaid Junkie Raquel. And as always, I'm yours until my next swim. Ciao.